Okay, this is problem 3. Need to do more than just one example. So we're going to do another example. It says use the given data to find the equation of the regression line and examine it. So we're going to open it up in StatCrunch. Okay. Now, the first thing though that it asks this time is to find the scatter plot. So we'll go to graph first and then scatter plot. Okay. As before, X was in the X, Y was in the Y, and we compute. Okay, this is the graph that we've got. Notice this graph goes a lot further than mine. Mine over here is only going kind of to 14. These look like they go a lot further, so just kind of cut off the right-hand side. This is confusing looking. This doesn't look like it. This doesn't look like it. This looks more like it. If you wanted to, you could come over here and you should be able to make that get a little bigger, but I've got everything so small it's hard to see. But I believe this is going to be it. The more you go in, I believe that looks like it. So let's choose D. And that, of course, was correct. Okay, now it wants the regression equation. So let's move this for a second. And we'll go to Stat, Regression, Simple Linear. And of course your X is the X and your Y is the Y. Sometimes they're labeled as to what they represent and makes a difference. And we compute. Your equation is right here. All of that, just that line right there. That's the equation. And they want it rounded to, let's see, round the constant to 2 decimal places and the coefficient to 3 decimal places. The constant is like the y-intercept right here, part of it. So that would be 3.06. Be sure you read all that blue writing. And over here, we wanted 3 places for the coefficient, which is the coefficient of the x term, 0.468. Okay, it says identify the characteristic of the data that is ignored by the regression line. There is no trend in the data. There is no characteristic of data that is ignored. There is an influential point that strongly affects the graph of the regression line. And the data has a pattern that is not a straight line. Well, let's go back over here and look back at our scatter plot. This one point up here is kind of an outlier. Otherwise, there's somewhat of a linear appearance. So it's this one point that's causing the problem. So there is an influential point that strongly affects the graph. So let's click on that. Okay, that completes problem